Welcome inside the Crisler Center on a Saturday afternoon. You are listening to WCBN Sports' broadcast of Michigan Wolverines basketball as they take on the visiting Michigan State Spartans. David Carlson alongside Dalton Pataki and Dalton. The number 10 Spartans come into the Crisler Center on a 3-game winning streak where they most recently smacked the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Michigan is coming off a bad loss at the Crisler Center on Tuesday night to the Indiana Hoosiers. How do you think this game is going to go today? I want keys from you for each squad.
Well, I think a lot of today's game comes out. Michigan can emotionally rebound from the huge loss to Indiana, where at one point Indiana scored 28 unanswered. And that's tough to do in a college game because the scoring just isn't there. But no, Michigan has to be smart. They can't go into their whole half lulls like they've been so susceptible to this season. And rebounding, I think, is the big key in this one. Michigan State ranks first in the Big Ten and third nationally in rebounding with over 40 team rebounds a game. That's a product of good defense and smart basketball, something Tom Izzo is known for. But the Michigan Wolverines, they have to get tough on the glass as they are a bottom feeder in the Big Ten when it comes to rebounding. Heck, their leading rebounder is guard Derek Walton Jr. at only 5.8 rebounds per game. Another thing, Michigan has to get in the passing lanes. And as Mark Jackson says, hand down, man down. This Spartans team is 7th nationally in three-point shooting percentage. And they're first nationally in assists per game. So once again, the Michigan Wolverines has to get out in the passing lanes and make them beat them inside. Huge potential for Deonta Davis to have a breakout game against a team like the Michigan Wolverines. He set a freshman record with 6 blocks in a game earlier this season. The 6'10 freshman can really protect the rim, and against a guard-oriented team, this could be a heyday for him. So my eye is on Deonta Davis for the Michigan State Spartans.
Michigan Wolverines will come out in the home maize uniforms, and the Michigan State Spartans will come out in the classic dark green. For Michigan State, it's Bryn Forbes, Deron Harris, Denzel Valentine, Deontay Davis, and Matt Costello. For the Michigan Wolverines, Derek Walton Jr., Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, Zach Urban, Duncan Robinson, and Mark Janelle. The kick goes to Denzel Valentine, and we're off. It'll be Rockman guarding Valentine as Bryn Forbes, who's shooting an incredible percentage of 48% from 3. Strokes for the first shot of the game and puts Michigan State up 3-0.
Once again, hand down, man down for the Michigan Wolverines.
Abdul-Rahman with the ball, driving in the lane, passing over to Derek Walton Jr. for 3, and he gets it. It's 3-up, and the Crisler Center already wrapped up as back-to-back shots go in on 2 possessions. Denzel Valentine, guarded by Michigan's best defender at the moment, Abdul-Rahman. Harris over to Valentine. His first shot is off the side, rim no good. Ball over to Michigan.
So for Michigan, huge job, or huge basket from Derek Walton Jr. to answer the Bryn Forbes three-pointer. If Michigan gets themselves in a hole, they can't afford to have a slow shooting night. So huge job to get the three-point bucket going early.
Derek Walton Jr. over to Zach Urban. He's got a great couple of last games. Guarded by, I believe that's Davis, freshman Davis on Urban. As he takes them all the way to the basket, lays it up with the right hand off the glass. Valentine pushes the pace all the way to Harris. He strokes the 3. John D-line has to be upset with his team that did not get back off the Zach Urban layup. And then Valentine quickly, in a matter of 2 seconds, switches up to Harris for 3. It's 6-5. Michigan State with 18:30 left in the first half. It's been Robinson by Valentine. Serving Abdul-Rahman. Dribbles into the free throw line area. Zach Urban into the paint, swings it back out to Walton. 6 on the shot clock. He pulls up for 3 over Harris. No good. Rebound Matt Costello.
And Aaron Harris, the transfer from West Virginia, is due for a big game. He averaged 17.2 2 years ago at West Virginia. Only 13 per game this year with the Spartans.
Forbes loses his dribble. And Valentine with 14 on the shot clock is going to set up another play. no true point guard in this lineup for Michigan State. It's Costello over the floor. Is he 2 for 2? Yes, he is. For 3, it is 6 early points for Bryn Forbes, the senior out of Lansing, Michigan, as they slap the floor and they're ready. It's 9-5, Michigan State. Robinson hands it off to Zach Irvin at the top of the key, drives into the paint, and it's going to be a traveling call or an offensive foul.
I don't know if I agree with that one. It looks like he got pushed, and I think he still got rid of the ball before the travel. I thought almost for sure it would have been a blocking foul. But John Beeline has to wonder, how does a shooter like Bryn Forbes get wide open with less than 10 seconds left on the shot clock?
He got 2 very good looks, and he converted on both. Moving screen is going to be called, I think, on Valentine. Excuse me, it's going to be on Aaron Harris. No, it will be Deontay Davis.
And that may have been a makeup call for the traveling violation.
Derek Walton Jr. bring it up and run John Beline's classic motion offense. Zach Irvin taking it on the right wing. High screen from Martinelli. Pulls up from the top of the key off the back rim, no good. Rebounded by Costello, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Michigan basketball, but Tom Izzo and Costello like the hustle. Still 9-5, 17 minutes left.
The Michigan Wolverines, after coming out and hitting 2 baskets early, has had a couple empty possessions where they haven't gotten great looks. So they have to run their offense and see if they can get looks closer to the basket or open jump shots.
Robinson swings with the service. Derek Walton Jr. dribbling with the right hand to the right wing. Rockman in the corner, guarded by Forbes. 13 on the shot clock. Walton sets up the new play. High screen from Denzel. And it'll be Walton to pull up 2 steps beyond the arc. In and out. Rebounded by Davis.
And that's not the kind of basketball that John Beeline wants to see out of his Wolverines.
Forbes into the post for the first time, and Costello, guarded by Janelle. Good matchup here. And it'll be off of the hands of Davis as Costello kicked it out. It'll be Michigan basketball. As the crowd very lively here on Saturday afternoon in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Derek Walton Jr. just making me look like a better broadcaster by doing a great job getting his hand in the passing lanes, causing a deflection, and getting a turnover for the Michigan Wolverines.
6'5" freshman Matt McQuaid will come in for Harris. Costello will also take his seat. And Gavin Schilling, the senior from Chicago, will come in. No changes for Neal. Zach Irvin, dribble top of the key. Hand off something Robinson. Back to Irvin, right wing. Back to Robinson, and they're playing catch. Irvin dribbling into the lane. Into Janelle, who gets a jump hook, no good. Rebounded by Michigan State. Kenny Goins just ended the game. Denzel Valentine, by Rockman. And they head to screen. They trap Valentine to top. Janelle and Rockman. And Schilling, left-handed dribble. Right-handed dribble. Valentine, quick fadeaway shot from the corner. Double team. That's just incredible basketball.
Tough shot made there by Denzel Valentine. Really a bit of a backbreaker for the Michigan Wolverines to play good defense for about 26 seconds.
11-5, 15 minutes, and counting left in this game, left in this half. There's over the rock. Screen takes Robinson, guarded by McQuaid, and that'll be his first foul. And we're going to have the first media timeout. We're going to be back right after this break as the 2 teams will talk it over.
Advantage timeout. back at the Crisler Center. David Carlson alongside Dalton Pataki for WCBN Sports. An early 11-5 lead for the Michigan State Spartans with 15 minutes left to go in this first half. What have you liked from the Spartans thus far? They're playing very good defense to my mind.
Oh, excellent defense. Not giving up any easy looks. Any jump shot has been contested. Mark Donnell did miss an easy bunny, and I'm sure he wishes he could have it back. But other than that, Michigan State's played rock-solid defense.
Speaking of rock solid, it is Abdur Rahman to inbound the ball to Donnell. Gives it up to Derek Walton, and he'll set up an offensive play. It'll be McQuaid on him one-on-one. Walton dribbled in the baseline on the right side. Pulls up, can't get it, rebound Donnell, and he'll put it back in. Good offensive rebound from Mark Donnell, but they got to hurry back as Denzel Valentine pushes the pace.
Great job there by Mark Donnell, not being intimidated by the third nationally ranked rebounding team and going up and skying for an offensive rebound.
McQuaid will be throwing it in and kicking it out to Valentine, and he flushes a three from the top of the key. Clearly knows what he's doing. The kid's a candidate for the Wooden Award and one of the candidates for the Big Ten and National Player of the Year. He's got a very well-rounded game, maybe a first-round draft pick in next year's NBA draft. It is Zach Irvin on the other end, handing it off to Walton, over to Rockman. He'll dribble it into the painted area, and he'll work on Forbes, lay it up with the right hand, scoop shot, little Euro stepping in as Michigan answers on the other end. Michigan State pushing it into the post, all ready to Gavin Schilling, guarded by Donnell. Jab step, no good. Crowd wanted to travel, didn't get it. Denzel Valentine will slow it back down. Valentine dribbled to the right elbow, kicks it out to McQuaid, who slips it into Schilling. My goodness, what a pass from the freshman McQuaid with the right hand all the way into Schilling.
Not sure what the Michigan defense was doing there. They left Schilling wide open on the weak side of the basket, so that even left him for an offensive rebound.
7-point Spartan lead in the first half. Derek Walton, and it's going to be a moving screen from Donnell as McQuaid drew it. It was on Walton, who got free, and the referee said no. Schilling will sit along with Forbes and Goins, Kenny Goins. Into the game will be Costello and Harris, who started, alongside McQuaid and Denzel Valentine. Oh, no, excuse me, Goins will stay in, and Schilling will sit. It'll be Costello, back to Valentine. Goins, McQuaid, pump fake. Valentine for three. Yes, basically the same shot that he hit a moment ago. He's got very good range. That was about 2 steps behind the three-point line. He's 2 of his last 2.
They are 5 for 5 from beyond the long line. And Michigan Wolverines playing a zone defense. That's not what I would advise, considering the fact that the zone allows shooters to get open easily.
Derek Walton Jr. halfway in between the baseline and the wing. Puts up a three, no good. Rebound, Valentine. Into Costello. Works on Donnell. Left-handed hook shot, no good. Rebound, Michigan and Donnell. It'll be Zach Irvin with the outlet pass to push it up. Duncan Robinson, guarded by Valentine. Hands it back off to Walton. Back to Robinson, guarded by McQuaid as they switch. Zach Irvin looking for some movement on the offensive end. He'll get a high screen from Donnell. No good is his three-point shot. Valentine pushing the pace. Over to Harris. Aaron Harris dribbling into the painted area. Costello back out to Harris. Swings it to McQuaid on the baseline. Jumper, no good. Rebound and good box out from Zach Irvin. And he puts it out to Rockman. Pocket three. Doesn't shoot it. Kicks it back out to Irvin, who gets his shot swatted completely by Costello. Hands it off to Harris on the other end. No good. Really fast-paced basketball thus far in this game. And there's a scrum for it on the ground near midcourt. And there'll be another timeout after we situate this one up. It'll be a jump ball, possession arrow to Michigan. So out of the timeout, it'll be Michigan basketball and John Beeline to draw up a play. But 19-9 with 11 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first half. And as you said, Dalton, it has been the Michigan State Spartans from beyond the three-point line that has been the difference.
Yeah,
5 for 5.
Well, now they're 5 for 7 after those last 2 misses and the string runs there. But the Wolverines are doing an absolutely atrocious job getting hands in the face of shooters. The Michigan State Spartans are 5 of 7 now. 15 of 19 points come from beyond the long line. They have to force Michigan State off that three-point line and to dribble in and where you get help defense and take more contested shots. They're just, like I said before the game, hand down, man down. And I was told a while ago by a very good coach, there aren't such things as great shooting teams. Bad defense makes shooting teams great. And right now, bad defense is making the Michigan State Spartans look like a college version of the Golden State Warriors.
Time from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. His high school teammate, Bryn Forbes, is also 2 of 2 from 3. The one thing that I've noticed in transition with Michigan State is even after a Michigan layup, three-point shot, bucket of any kind, they push the ball up in less than 2 seconds. Denzel Valentine, incredible asset of his, long passing cross-court ability that has really killed Michigan thus far. I think Mark Donnell, especially, has been laboring getting back up and down the floor. What does Beeline have to tell his crew to kind of manage this type of fast-paced offense that Michigan State is running through?
Well, first off, the fast-paced offense, always having guys down there, is it really discourages offensive rebounding from the Wolverines. And so John Beeline has to tell his players, especially the guards, whoever the guards are at the top of the key when a shot is taken, they have to get back so there's some type of defense back there. But also pushing the ball up so quickly on either a made basket or a miss gives the Spartans that much more time to operate in the shot clock. And that's another reason why you can see shooters like Bryn Forbes get open within the final 10 seconds of the clock, or wide open three-pointers with 15 seconds, because they're not taking 6 or 7 seconds to bring it up. So it forces the Wolverines to play harder defense for long.
And harder defense at the beginning of the shot clock, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And then as soon as Denzel Valentine or whoever's running the point position slows it down, about 25 seconds of hard half-court defense is what the Wolverines are after playing. So very good offensive strategy from Tom Izzo thus far. Michigan ball, it'll be Duncan Robinson, dribbles into the right block, off the backboard, no good. Bryn Forbes gets the rebound and throws it directly to Ricky Doyle, who puts it back up and in. Great for Michigan, but again, Michigan State already down the floor with another possession. McQuaid, guarded by Rockman. High screen from Harris. Passing it off to Forbes. Forbes guarded by Zach Urban. High zone and high man, really, for Michigan here, as Michigan State has exerted itself from the three-point line. I don't know how that ball ended up in Davis's hands, but he was right underneath the basket. He jams it home for another Michigan State two.
Good dribble drive by Aaron Harris there to get underneath the hoop and bring in the Michigan defense. Guards didn't shift over correctly, and that left Davis with a wide open dunk.
Duncan Robinson over to Rockman with the left-handed dribble. Left hash. Gives it to Urban on the cross court, trying to get past Davis. Can't do it. Picks up his dribble on the free throw line. Gives it to Walton with 3 on the shot clock. He's going to pull up, and he's going to give it to Urban, actually, who pulls up from the left wing, and he can't get it to go. It's a shot clock violation. It'll be Michigan State basketball.
That's on Derek Walton Jr. Coaches always preach to players with less than 7 on the shot clock. You're the person taking the shot. You don't want to pass it off too late and force a teammate of yours to take a very bad shot. You got to try and create your own with less than 7 on the clock. DJ
Wilson, the redshirt freshman from Sacramento, California, along with Aubrey Dawkins, son of Stanford coach and Duke great Johnny Dawkins, will enter the game for Michigan. Doyle still in there along with Urban and Derek Walton. Costello working on Doyle. Left-handed hook shot, no good. Battle for the rebound inside. Tipped up, and it'll be into the hands of Zach Urban. Outletting to Derek Walton. DJ Wilson left open, and he decided not to take the 3. He gets it back in the right wing from Walton. It'll give it over to Doyle at the top of the key. Dawkins really tight-knit defense on Zach Urban from Michigan State. DJ Wilson, pocket three, no good, off the front rim. Rebounded by Ricky Doyle, but he can't hammer it back home. Denzel Valentine with the outlet pass. It'll be Aaron Harris. Left wing swings it back over to Forbes. He'll pull up for three, and that's good. Oh, my goodness. Can this kid shoot?
Bryn Forbes is feeling himself right now as he is hitting it any place from downtown.
24-11, Michigan State. 9 minutes left to go in the first half. Zach Urban against a tight man-to-man defense of Denzel Valentine. And it's going to be a blocking foul as he drove in with his left hand, and Matt Costello drew the foul.
And Matt Costello, an interesting player. He was the Michigan Mr. Basketball in 2012, and actually he's the second Mr. Michigan basketball player on this state team. The other one is freshman Deonta Davis. But Matt Costello hasn't played that great early on, 0 for 2 from the floor, and has picked up a foul. So
he'll have a seat, and Schilling will come back in along with Goins. And it'll be a three from Rockman, who airballs. And it'll be into the hands of Schilling, and now Valentine already up the floor. He pulls up from about 14 feet. You give him that shot, you don't stop the transition ball. And Michigan's going to have a long day if they can't stop that ball. 15-point lead for the Michigan State Spartans. 8:40 left here to go in the first half.
Michigan State is on a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes of play. And Michigan, an abysmal 1 of 8. One of their last 8 shooting. Muhammad Ali Abdur Rahman had a wide open corner three off that inbounds play, and he missed it. This team right now is not into it. They're not prepared for what Tom Izzo and the Spartans have thrown at them thus far. Now it falls on John Beilein to calm down the players, make sure their head's where it needs to be, and they got to start knocking down some shots.
Particularly knocking down some threes. They're only 1 of 9, 11%. To Michigan State, 75%. They're 6 of 8. Michigan State could go into any gym in the country. If they shoot 6 of 8 in the first 12 minutes of play, I bet they're going to have a lead. Maybe not a 15-point lead, but my goodness.
Lead nonetheless.
That's right. 67 to 29% overall shooting in favor of Michigan State. It is Ricky Doyle at the top of the key, guarded by Schilling. Hands it off to Derek Walton. It's DJ Wilson in the corner now. Passing it over to Rockman. Ball movement is pretty good for John Beilein thus far, but no easy shots out of that ball movement. Rockman giving it to DJ Wilson. Left-handed dribble into the paint. No good. Turns it over. Into the hands of Bryn Forbes as they push it up again. Denzel Valentine with an unlimited motor thus far gets fouled by Derek Walton, who probably, in fact, committed a decent foul, because if he let that one go, it would have been Denzel Valentine at the rim.
No, and I'm not sure what DJ Wilson was doing on the dribble drive. He had a decent look at the rim, and he tried to force a pass into a double-teamed Ricky Doyle. Not smart play out of DJ Wilson thus far.
Goins hands it off to Valentine. Forbes, who's 3 of 3 from beyond the arc already, and now 4 of 4. For some reason, he has another wide-open look, and he has 12 quick points for Michigan State.
And Derek Walton got trapped on a flare screen on the left side of the court. And that's how Bryn Forbes got so open. Coach Edgelow's doing a great job getting his shooter open.
High screen from Ricky Doyle on Derek Walton. Swings it over into the corner. I believe that's Rockman. Rockman, right-handed dribble, pull up from 16 feet over Valentine. And that's what seems to be Michigan's first 2 points in about 5 minutes.
Michigan's got to get a stop here as Michigan State is 3 of 3 in their last 3 trips.
Forbes swings it to Harris, guarded by Dawkins. Right-handed dribble, switch to Doyle. Swings it over to Goins. 17-foot shot, no good. Rebounded by the point guard, the best rebounding point guard in the country, in Derek Walton. He takes it himself into the lane. Gives it to Dawkins, pulls up from 17, and that's good. 4-0 run for Michigan as the crowd settles down a little bit here.
And Michigan needs to get a run of about 8-0 to get themselves back into it. And if they can get this one within 10 by the half, you're in business.
As Aubrey Dawkins steals the ball away from Michigan State into the hands of Rockman, but he turns it right back over. No good transition D from Michigan. And Forbes on the other end. Oh, my goodness. 15 points for Bryn Forbes himself. Is 5 of 5 from beyond the arc. It is 32-15 Michigan State. This crowd has no idea what just hit them.
No, and Brim Forbes is taking shots with hands in his face and still hitting them. He is on a different planet right now as a shooter.
Derek Walton Jr. pulls up from the right wing, about 15-foot jumper inside the arc, and he's fouled on the shot. We're going to have another timeout here, but it has been the Bryn Forbes show. The kid is shooting 48.2% from beyond the arc, which is good for 7th nationally in the NCAA. But tonight, he's better than anybody else in the country. He's 5 of 5. And you know what? Shooters, when they're in a zone, are like a hockey goalie when they're hot. You just see the ball go in the basket, you're feeling it. It's like you're shooting free throws. It's a rhythm. And he's in a zone, in an unconscious zone from beyond the arc. Incredible shooting from Bryn Forbes.
I mean, his statistics hold true, in which they usually do. Bryn Forbes is due for a couple misses here, but that's not a bet I would take right now if I was John Beilein in Michigan State, or the Michigan Wolverines, excuse me. They need to find a way to make sure they're getting over screens. They got to find Forbes in transition, because really, you look at the scoring. The scoring comes down to 2 players right now for the Spartans. Forbes has 15 on 5 of 5 shooting, and Valentine has 10 on 4 of 6 shooting, 2 for 2 from downtown. And an abysmal, like you said earlier, 1 of 9, 11% for the Michigan Wolverines beyond the 3-point line. Something that this team is supposed to be above average at. They're also only shooting 37% from the floor as a team. That's just not good enough when you're going up against the number 10 ranked team in the nation.
For those of you who are listening and do not understand how important Denzel Valentine is to this team, he averages 18.5 points a game, which is well on his way for that average today. But he has 4 assists, and I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure those 4 assists have all been to Bryn Forbes. Forbes is 5 of 5, and he only created one of those 5 shots by himself. It's been Valentine who has been hitting it with pitch-perfect passes right in the chest to set Forbes up to step into threes off the ball.
And I mean, it's no secret that Bryn Forbes can shoot the 3-pointer. He's hit a 3-pointer in 112 of 126 career games. And he hit 7 of 9 3-pointers earlier in the year against Oakland University, who is a D1 college. So you're not going up against scrub athletes. But he is well on his way to breaking that record today, unless Michigan Wolverines have anything to say about it.
And it is Denzel Valentine who's leading this Michigan State team with 6.6 assists.
Oh, he makes this team go.
Oh, my goodness. Incredible. Michigan State started the year with a perfect non-conference season. Going to the Big Ten and losing 3 at home to Iowa, at Wisconsin, and at home to Nebraska.
And they haven't lost 3 straight since 2007.
Right.
So that's something that the Izzone and Spartan fans alike haven't seen before.
Right, but that did not faze them. They come back home to play on ESPN against number 7 Maryland, and they shut down Melo Trimble. And they win that game by, I believe, 9 points. That's a 9-point victory against one of the best teams, not only in the Big Ten, but in the country. Then they smack Northwestern, smack Rutgers, and they're smacking Michigan here at the Crisler Center today. Derek Walton hits both free throws as Michigan State's going to push it back up. And it's going to be Davis who's in the post, and it's going to be a blocking foul against Mark Donnell. Crowd doesn't like it because it looked like he got a lot of the basketball there on that block attempt. But it'll be Davis to go to the line for 2 shots.
No, that was not on Mark Donnell. Mark Donnell did get all ball. It was on Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, who, when Davis went up, he kind of got into the lower half of the body. Not something I would call, but it's still apparently enough to warrant 2 free throws.
And then again, as Davis misses the first of 2, it was set up by Denzel Valentine, who, beyond the top of the key, threw that ball directly into Davis against, it was Donnell at that point, and he almost had an alley-oop, but it was Donnell at the last second to break it up. So he hits the second, 1 of 2 for Davis at the line. 33-17 lead they have as it's Rockman driving the right baseline for Michigan. Kicking it out to Zach Irvin. He pulls up for 3, and that's good.
Yeah, and Zach Irvin, he has been quiet today. Only his 5th point fifth point of the day there. He has to get going for Michigan to come back and make this a game.
Off the made three, Beeline will go to the 1-3-1, and for one of the first times this year, it worked, as Michigan State was not ready for that. It was Duncan Robinson at the top of the zone, and Valentine threw it out of bounds for one of the first turnovers today for Michigan State, and it'll be Michigan basketball off the three from Irvin. So it'll be Rockman to set up an offense against Forbes. Swings it to Duncan Robinson, one of their best shooters, not only in the building, maybe second to Bryn Forbes. It'll be Derek Walton with right-handed dribble on McQuaid. Good defense from McQuaid as he puts up a shot on the right block. No good, but he steals it right back. Derek Walton swings it to Rockman, and he can't hit the three, but he gets his own rebound, goes up, and he'll be fouled. I think in the act of shooting.
No, it was on the floor on the dribble drive. I think it was Denzel Valentine got a hand in there and got caught trying to poke the ball away.
It was certainly on the ground, as Valentine did, as we look at the replay to our left here. Did get a hand in there, and it'll be Michigan basketball on the baseline out of bounds as Zach Irvin will inbound the ball. Michigan now only down 13. Looking, and he'll have to call a timeout. Once again, very good defense from Michigan State, forcing Irvin to call a timeout here with 5:13 left to go in the first half.
There's no excuse for that timeout. The Wolverines were just so disorganized right there. They weren't running any type of play or screens to get a man open to inbound. And, I mean, credit McQuaid. He covered Walton, who leaked out to be the safety. So that way Irvin couldn't just toss it up. And Michigan's forced to burn a timeout here.
So let's talk a little bit about Tom Izzo's group as a whole. Doesn't really have an option of a true point guard as he's had in the past. Tom Izzo, very good record at Michigan State. He's in his 21st season. Before the broadcast today, we called Tom Izzo a basketball legend, which he deservedly is. He's coached incredible point guards in the past with the likes of Scott Skiles, Keith Applin, Caleb Lucas, Erickson, most recently Caleb Lucas, as Robinson on the inbound can't get the three to fall. It'll be Valentine to push it out, guarded by Rockman. But Valentine is the point guard, the serving leader and point guard for Tom Izzo's group, and he's done a really good job in handling that position. It'll be Valentine guarded by Rockman. High screen from Costello. He can't find him on the roll. Double teamed in the paint. It'll be a turnover. It'll be Rockman on the other end, guarded by McQuaid. Gives it up to Irvin. Left-handed, right-handed layup. Good. Very good transition offense from Michigan.
And Michigan State gets the ball down on their half of the floor in 3 seconds.
Valentine swings it over to Forbes. Is he 6 of 6? No, he's human. But it'll be rebounded by Valentine and knocked out of bounds by Zach Irvin. But he's going to try and pump up the crowd as it's now only an 11-point lead for the Spartans.
And I think that the crowd was a little bit surprised to not see the ball go through.
I was surprised.
Bryn Forbes maybe going to start getting back to his average of about 50% beyond the three-point line.
Goins over to Costello, and it'll be knocked away by Walton as Forbes and Walton are sprinting for it, but the crowd has got to love that hustle from Derek Walton, who's literally a sprint down the floor as the ball was rolling toward the Michigan State baseline as Derek Walton and Bryn Forbes were sprinting and diving on the baseline for that ball. As you hear the applause in the background, that's all for Derek Walton right there.
And like you said, there's no reason for this crowd to not respond positively to such a huge hustle play. Even though Michigan does not get the ball back on the turnover, it looks like there seems to be a problem on the floor.
I see both players dove on the floor in the painted area, just above the restricted area, and the event staff here and the referee are trying to figure out, I believe, where each of the players fell so they can wipe the sweat up off the floor. I believe that's what happened. Anyways, we're in a timeout, and it's an 11-point lead, but the momentum has slightly shifted over to the Wolverines bench.
You can see a little bit, they're getting in the passing lanes, as I alluded to earlier. It's what they need to do. Michigan State has 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes of play. I mean, something that before that, they only had 3 turnovers the first 14 minutes. So Michigan's finally getting some stops. They're getting some better looks at baskets. They're hitting shots that they weren't hitting in the first half of this half. So
the gap is closed field goal percentage wise, slightly, not dramatically, but it's now 63 to 38 as opposed to 60 something to 20 something early in the first half. As you said, Dalton, I believe the problem on the floor is one of the players shed
could have been bleeding,
some blood on the floor, and they're looking just to clean that up a little bit more than some sweat.
So, but the Michigan Wolverines, they're doing a good job rebounding. I will give them that. Total rebounds 11 to 11. Michigan has 5 offensive rebounds to Michigan State's 1. So I think they're doing a good job with that. And they could have had a few more as the ball has bounced through some Wolverines' hands. But coming out, they checked off one of the things thus far that Michigan State's done well. They've neutralized their rebounding advantage, but they still have to get hands up in the face of shooters, i.e. Forbes, and they have to get their hands in the basket lanes to cut down on these assists.
And surprisingly, they are winning the turnover battle. In the past couple of minutes, Michigan State has turned the ball over 3 to 4 times, maybe 2 to 3 times. And it's been Michigan's high pressure defense that has not allowed Michigan State to get a good look at the basket in the past couple of minutes, which has closed the gap. That's what John Beilein is looking for from his defense. Not only to rebound the basketball, but not let Michigan State get a shot or get a good look at the basket. And I think they've done that pretty well in the past couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have. And just responding on offense, even the shots that aren't going in, they're getting better looks. I think John Beilein's doing a nice job of making adjustments to maybe something that they weren't expecting Michigan State would throw at them. Or maybe that's why they jumped out to such a early lead.
So it'll be Michigan State basketball in their own backcourt.
20 seconds on the shot clock, just to remind the folks at home.
McQuaid, Harris, Costello, Forbes, and Goins in the game for Michigan State. As it bounces out to Forbes, he's going to try his hand from the right wing. He misses it, rebounded by Derek Walton as Michigan coming the other way. To Robinson, and he's into Donnell on the right baseline. He'll dribble it back out and give it to Derek Walton. 4 minutes left to go in the first half. Robinson, right wing guarded by McQuaid, over to Donnell, swings it to on the other side of the court to Irvin. Zach Irvin, left-handed dribble baseline, can't get past Goins. They swing it to Duncan Robinson, who drives under the free throw line, puts it up, no good, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. It just looks like Michigan State is the longer team, and Michigan cannot get into the painted area to get a good shot.
Yeah, and I thought with about 7 seconds left on the shot clock, on a switch from a screen, Zach Irvin was matched up with the much larger but slower Matt Costello. So I thought that they should have cleared there and tried to go iso ball at 7 seconds. Instead, the ball got to Duncan Robinson, and he tried to create something else. So I don't think that was the smartest basketball there by the Wolverines, considering that Zach Irvin may be the best shot creator for this team in the absence of Caris Levert, who, not playing today, has missed his 10th straight Michigan game.
It's difficult because Michigan ideally would like to slow the game down on defense, but then most likely pick it up on offense, right?
Right.
Because they're not going to win a half-court battle with their bigs against this long Michigan State team. And if they get moving in transition, as they have the past couple of possessions, we saw Zach Irvin get to the rim with a right-handed layup, and we saw Derek Walton almost get a layup as he and Forbes were sprinting down the lane for the ball. But what do you think Michigan has to do to get that going? Because the problem is the outlet passes on the defensive end for Michigan have to come from Derek Walton because he's leading the team in rebounds. If he can't push the ball up via the pass, if he's going to rebound the ball himself and bring it up. Make sense?
No, makes perfect sense. And I really think one big thing is getting in transition. It requires you to get stops on the defensive end.
Right.
And that really, up until the past few possessions, they haven't been able to get stopped. But for the final 2 minutes, 36 seconds, Michigan State hasn't scored a basket. So John Beeline's doing a good job, like I said, making adjustments, but only 2 fast break points for the Michigan Wolverines. That has to change if they want to complete the comeback.
So it is 33-22 here at the Crisler Center. You're listening to WCBN Sports. David Carlson alongside Dalton Pataki. And with the first half closing out, Michigan State jumped out to a rather large lead. It was 15 points at one time, and it seemed like that this game was going to be blown out of the water by the Spartans. But Michigan's defense has turned this basketball game around slightly. And John Beeline in the next 3:33 is looking to cut this lead probably down to 6-7 going into the locker room.
Historically, this game favors the Wolverines when it's a 5-point game. There have been 58 games between these two teams decided by 5 points or less. 3 of the last 6 have been decided by 1 point. But in the 58 games decided by 5 or fewer points, Michigan is 33-25. So historically, the Wolverines are favored in a close game, and that's all John Beeline has to try to do to end this first half is get, like you said, within the 6-7 range.
Michigan without their best scorer in Caris Levert, so someone else is going to have to step up in that, take that responsibility. It's 1-3-1 defense for Michigan again as Forbes pump fakes, can't get it. Oh, he pump fakes the 3, dribble step into the inside of the arc, and he hits that one as that's his first of the last 3 shots he's made, or he's taken that he's made.
Yeah, Brim Forbes, 0 of 2 on his last 2 3-pointers. Did a nice job shortening up that shot and getting a much easier 15-footer.
Denzel pulls up from beyond the arc, and that one is way off over the rim. Not sure how John Beeline is happy with that at all as he calls Denzel over to speak with him one-on-one. It seems like you can get that type of shot any possession you like.
Yeah, you can get that shot with 4 seconds left in the shot clock. So taking it with about 22 definitely isn't favorable in the eyes of John Beeline.
13-point lead here for the, 13-point lead here for the Spartans. It'll be Harris on the left wing, over to guarded by Duncan Robinson, into Valentine, and he's going to post up Rockman and go over the top and put it in with the right hand. Right hook shot for Denzel Valentine as the lead balloons back up to 15.
And that's the type of advantage the 6'5" Denzel Valentine will have over the, 6'4" Mar. It's just the length of the arms, too, that he gets that additional height to hit that hook shot.
Zach Urban over to Derek Walton Jr. He's only 1 of 6 from the floor this afternoon. And it'll be Denzel again, this time wide open for 3 off the front rim, no good. Not a very confident shot by the 6'10" sophomore.
Once again, that shot is there, like I said, with less than 5 seconds to go in the shot clock. Michigan State will give that up all day.
It'll be Costello in the post, and he's going to turn it over, maybe. Yes, it'll be into the hands of Marr as he dribbled it off his foot. Zach Urban pushing the basketball the other way as he drives with the left hand. Turnaround jump shot inside the lane, halfway down and all the way out.
Tough luck miss there for Zach Urban, who shook off his defender to get a decently open 12-footer.
Valentine, Goins. Costello, guarded by Denzel, gets him on the right-handed dribble, and he'll go to the free throw line as he caught Denzel flat-footed. Costello, a good, hard right-handed dribble into the lane there. Tried to kiss it off the glass, and it didn't go in, but he'll get 2 free throws, deservedly so.
And John Beeline was not happy with that one, working the sideline referees. It looked like Costello may have initiated contact there, but you see the call all the time in both the NBA and college. So I can see where Beeline's coming from, but I can also see where it wasn't foul.
So Denzel will come out along with Muhammad Ali Abdul Rahman, and Dawkins and Ricky Doyle will come in most likely to finish this first half off with only 1:28 left to go in the half. For Michigan State, it's Forbes, Valentine, Costello at the line, Harris, and Goins. And it'll be Costello to hit 1 of 2. 16-point lead for the Spartans as Michigan pushes the ball up. Derek Walton over to Zach Irvin, back to Aubrey Dawkins. At the right wing is Irvin. Dawkins takes the handoff, gives it over to Walton. Over to Zach Irvin. And he'll dribble into the elbow, and he'll be swinging over to Walton for three. Yes, sir. Derek Walton Jr.
And those are his first points since at least the 10-minute mark of this half.
54 seconds to go in the half. It'll be a timeout with Tom Izzo and Denzel Valentine as they're going to talk it over. Most likely their last possession of the first half. And Izzo's going to draw something up, most likely for his All-American candidate, Denzel Valentine. Maybe even Brent Forbes, who's had the hot hand early in this game. Let's talk about Caris Levert for a minute, can't we?
Yeah.
Caris Levert coming into this season, he's averaging in the games he's played 17.6 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists. Not too shabby for the senior, who's likely to be a late first-round NBA draft pick. He injured his left leg in the Big Ten opener in Champaign, Illinois against the Fighting Illini. Has missed, including today, the last 10 games for John Beeline's club, and it has been certainly a liability in this lineup. They've had to start Abdul Rahman and put Rahman on probably the best offensive player on any team, Big Ten team they've played thus far. How big will it be for Beeline when they get Levert back?
Well, they just won't go into these offensive lulls that they've been so susceptible to go into these past few weeks.
In the 1-3-1 defense, and Denzel Valentine and Bryn Forbes, the dynamic duo from Lansing, break it up. It's Forbes again for his 7th three of the afternoon, but it's Derek Walton Jr. on the other end to answer with a three of his own.
And that answer needed to happen because you can't let Michigan State go up by 15 to end the half.
And it is Harris to Costello. Forbes again? You bet. This kid is magic. 7 threes in the first half of a college basketball game.
I'm not sure what John Beeline's doing running a 1-3-1, electing to give Bryn Forbes wide open three-point looks.
Walton again? No good. Airballs a three, and that'll be the half. My goodness, Dalton Donkey. 44-28 is the lead for the Michigan State Spartans with 20 minutes to go. And it has been, in my opinion, the Bryn Forbes show. 8 of 10 from the field, 23 points. He's on pace for 46 points in this game. He's matched, I believe, his season high with 7 three-point makes. And this crowd in the Crisler Center is simply dumbfounded. Incredible play from Valentine setting up Forbes.
Well, yeah, I mean, Valentine and Forbes, like you said, they have that high school connection. But I am personally stunned as to why John Beeline has not made an adjustment to put a man on Bryn Forbes, whether it be if he wants to stick with the zone, a box and one type scenario, or just go to man. But giving Michigan State's hottest shooter wide open looks, not a great recipe for success.
So to wrap this up, this first half of it is Bryn Forbes leading the way with 23 points for the Spartans. Second is Denzel Valentine with 12 for the Wolverines. It is Derek Walton Jr. who came on late in that first half with 2 quick three-pointers. He has 11 points, and Zach Irvin has 7. A 44-28 lead in Ann Arbor. You're listening to WCBN Sports, and I'm David Carlson. It's been Dalton Pataki. In the second half, it'll be Leo Blavin and Adam Broadnax to take you home. 44-28. It is all Spartans in the first half. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Sound check 1 2 3 4. Sound check 1 2 3 4. Audio test 1 2 3 4. Sound check 1 2 3 4. Sound check 1 2 3 4. Sound check 1 2 3 4. Sound check. Audio testing 1 2 3 4.
Welcome to our second half coverage on the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. I'm Liam Lavin. Joining me, Adam Broadnax. The Michigan State Spartans come into Crisler Center, shoot the lights out in the first half. They lead it 44-28 as we get set to start the second half. Adam, what was Michigan State doing so well offensively in the first half?
Definitely had to start off with the big man. I mean, especially Costello, is not going to show up in the stats, but he has set some really hard screens, and Derek Walton and Robinson especially have been getting caught on those screens and leaving Bryn Forbes wide open. Beeline has put Robinson to start and then put Walton on to cover Forbes, but Forbes has been lights out, 7-9, still from 3. That's just, it goes to say what a team this is and how MSU has continued to show that they have a top 10 offense nationally. I mean, they're absolutely amazing, and they have not been able, they've just not slowed down, and you expect these percentages to be unsustainable as we've seen in the past, but then you go and you see NGIT shoot 70% from 3, and Michigan Wolverines have been down this road before.
Bryn Forbes, absolutely phenomenal in the first half. 23 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 7 of 9 from behind the arc. If Michigan wants to have any chance of coming back in this game, it starts with stopping Bryn Forbes on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Stopping Bryn Forbes has to be Beeline's #1 priority right now, and especially getting the offense going. Shooting well under 40% from the field will not get Michigan Wolverines a win, especially against a stout MSU defense.
Michigan made just 11 field goals in the first half. Michigan State made 10 field goals from behind the arc in the first half. Really tells you the story of this game is Michigan State has been both dominant on offense and defense. Denzel Valentine, not to be outdone, had himself a first half, 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Spartans working left to right as we start the second half. Michigan State with the basketball. Bryn Forbes going to work on Derek Walton Jr. at the top of the key. Works to Aaron Harris. Harris guarded by Duncan Robinson. Now down low. Costello going to work on the right block. Hook shot inside the paint. Up and good.
That was just too easy right there for Costello. He walked that one in.
His first field goal of the game gives the Spartans an 18-point lead, 46-28 here as we get started in the second half. Rockman going to work on Valentine. Defers to Donnell, who hands it off to Robinson for 3. Rattles out off the backboard. Rebound brought down by Deontay Davis. Up ahead, Costello. Back-to-back buckets on the other end, and Michigan State starts out quickly on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, that right there just showed pure size advantage for MSU. Costello's a good 2 inches bigger than Donnell.
Michigan needs a basket and then a stop, but it starts on the offensive end. Irvin, guarded by Costello, splits the defense inside the paint on the left block. He'll pass it back up to his point guard, Walton, 10 on the shot clock. Irvin off a handoff, 3-pointer, good. Zach Irvin, nothing but the bottom of the net there. Basket Michigan needed, the lead down to 17.
Two good handoffs right there. Robinson unfortunately missed that last one.
Bryn Forbes, the best offensive player on the floor in this game, gives to Costello, and now in front of the Michigan State bench, Valentine kicks to Harris, his open 3, trying to answer, no good, and over the back called on Costello as Donnell came down with the rebound. Good defensive possession there for Michigan, only because the shot was missed. Harris open though, just couldn't cash in on the 3-point attempt.
Yeah, of all players to leave open, Harris is one of them.
Walton working back the other way, right to left come the Wolverines. Irvin gets by Costello, kicks up top to Robinson, guarded by Valentine. Gets a screen from Irvin. Irvin into the corner, Rockman for 3. No good, too strong. As Valentine skies for the rebound. No look pass ahead to Bryn Forbes, trying to push the pace. He'll settle it back down. Tip pass, and Donnell just couldn't keep his hand on it. Goes off the padding underneath the basket. Ball will stay with the Spartans, 23 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, another 50-50 ball not going the Michigan Wolverines' way. We saw that all open in the first half.
Inbound for the Spartans. Valentine gives to Forbes, uncontested. Kicks it back up top to Valentine for 3. Rattles around, no good. Tip back attempt by Davis. Doesn't go, and he's fouled on the floor.
Yeah, Deontay Davis coming in should have been one of the key matchups here. He's been awfully silent tonight, and looking at the glass, Michigan Wolverines on paper look to be at a huge disadvantage, but they've kept up so far. Only 17-13, off by 4 so far in the rebounding battle.
A lot of that has to do too with the fact that Michigan State's shooting 64% from the field. They haven't had a lot of misses to track down on the offensive end. Aaron Harris guarded by Robinson, 15 on the shot clock. He sets it up at the top of the key, works to Forbes. Right free throw line extended is where Forbes does battle with Walton. Now down low to Costello, spins by Donnell and dunks all over him.
Yeah, Costello just put the spin cycle right there on Donnell, left him hanging, threw down the slam.
As the Spartan defensive 5 slapped the floor back on the other end. Robinson to Donnell, and now Irvin, the Wolverines working it around the perimeter. 50-31 the scores. The visitors from East Lansing running the show right now. Walton trying to dribble inside. He's forced to kick it back up to Irvin, top of the key. Irvin going to work on Davis, gets inside, and he's hip checked. So the foul will go on the floor, and it will reset the shot clock. More importantly, 16:56 left to go in the second half. Michigan State on top, 50-31.
Michigan State continuing to show their tremendous perimeter defenses. Deontay Davis stayed in front. Bryn Forbes is staying in front. Michigan Wolverines unable to get anywhere in the paint.
Davis's second foul sends him to the bench. Checking in for him, Kenny Goins. Rockmon to Robinson. Pump fake, steps inside, gets to the tin, and lays it in for 2.
Duncan Robinson needs to get to life here if Michigan looks to get back in this game.
A play we didn't see him make earlier in this season. He's started to develop his ability to pump fake and get to the rim. It's good for 2 there, lead down to 17. Irvin, bodied up by Goins, and his hook shot is good. Certainly a height advantage there.
Another floor slap here for the MSU Spartans.
Bryn Forbes has been big on that today. Has yet to score in the second half. He hasn't needed to. The Michigan State offense continues to roll. Irvin getting to the rim. 2 Spartans there to try to defend that shot. Neither one sees it converted. Now Walton on an interception back the other way. Pass it ahead to Donnell, who goes up strong and lays it in for 2. Aaron Harris upended back on the other end of the floor, couldn't get back.
Yeah,
good transition offense.
Yeah, great awareness right there for Derek Walton.
Donnell now with 4 points in this game. The lead back to 17. Valentine off a pass, spins, gets to the tin. No good on his lay-in attempt, but a foul on the floor. Offensive rebound for Kenny Goins. Michigan's got to crash the boards better when they get misses, because Michigan State simply not missing too many. You can't give them second chance opportunities. Timeout on the floor, 15:38 left to go in the second half. Michigan State on top, 52-35.
Yeah, Derek Walton just not showing the effort right there to crash the glass. He's Michigan's leading rebounder. He just wasn't there and left, 3 MSU Spartans right there to juggle around and get that board. It's a battle that Michigan started out not, staying competitive, but they've slowly, given up rebound after rebound, leaving the Michigan State Spartans in it.
What have you seen so far in this second half that has worked better for Michigan on the offensive end, and where do they still need to make adjustments on the defensive end?
Well, on the offensive side of the ball, the Michigan Wolverines have done good at setting 2 ball screens coming off for Robinson, to getting him 2 open looks so far. He's missed one of them, but something to get started here, because he has been mortal the past 6 games. Shooting well under 40%. I think he's shooting 37-36% right now from 3, when he had started off the first non-conference slate of games well above 50%. So that's something that Beeline needs to get going here for the Michigan Wolverines. And on the defensive side, they just got to stay in front, as we just saw right there on that last play. Rockman got way out in front on Denzel Valentine, way out at half court, and Valentine just blitzed right by him up for that layup that should have gone in, and then MSU crashed the boards and kept the possession there.
This is, I think, the second straight game in a row that you're really seeing the absence of Caris Levert felt when Michigan's needed a guy to get a basket or get a defensive stop. He was that guy, and his absence really being felt. This is his 10th straight game missed, and for Michigan, they really have to hope that he's able to return sooner rather than later. With this late stretch of games, it doesn't get much easier. After going to Minnesota, they faced Purdue at home, traveled to Columbus to face the Buckeyes, then traveled to Maryland get a home tilt with Northwestern, followed by a road trip to Madison to face the Badgers in their only meeting this season, before finishing the season at home against Iowa. So they certainly need their best player back on the floor at some point, because you're seeing the impact that having a great player like Denzel Valentine for the Spartans can have. He's had not only 12 points, but 7 rebounds and 6 assists. His career ranks right up there as one of the best in the Big Ten's history. Only player in Big Ten history to record 1,300 points, 700 rebounds, and 500 assists in his career.
Yeah, Denzel Valentine, a example of what the Michigan Wolverines could be getting out of Caris Levert. Caris Levert, final 10 seconds on the shot clock. Michigan Wolverines have gone to him over and over again, and they're still finding out who to go to in these final 10 seconds of shot clock when they need a bucket.
After the foul on the floor, the Spartans reset the offense. 15.5 minutes left to go in this contest. The green and white on top of Michigan, 52-35. Valentine. Cross-court pass to Harris, driving baseline, trying to dunk on top of Doyle, nothing doing. And Harris goes down awkwardly. Foul called on the floor before any of that occurred. And Harris coming up a bit gimpy, perhaps a substitution coming, and it will be Matt McQuaid checking in, the freshman from Linwood, Michigan, who was named by ESPN.com's Jeff Goodman as the best pure shooter in this class coming in.
Now him and Bryn Forbes on the court right now.
Dangerous combination from behind the arc. Forbes going to work on Walton. Dishes to McQuaid, top of the key. He will give it to their senior leader, Valentine. Forbes off a screen now. Spartans have yet to crack the perimeter. Now Valentine will do so. His 8-foot runner off the front of the rim, off the backboard, and in.
And Michigan got caught right there. Either give up the easy pick and roll layoff and then he gave up the Valentine flood right there.
Walton back the other way. Irvin off a screen from Doyle for 3, no. Put-back dunk is slammed home, 2 hands by Doyle. He missed one of those in the first half, doesn't miss this time. Lead back down to 17. Now Michigan's got to get a stop.
Ricky Doyle using his hands for once for the putback slam.
Forbes down low to Gavin Schilling on the right block. Bodies up Doyle, steps inside, hook shot. Went from the right block to the left block, laid it in off the glass. No answer for the Michigan bigs against Schilling and Costello so far in this second half.
Doyle unable to stay in front, symptom of the Michigan Wolverines defense.
Irvin off a screen from Doyle. Working on Schilling, he's got speed, blows by him, baseline, reverse hook, in! Off the glass for Zach Irvin.
Yeah, beautiful reverse layup right there to blow by Schilling. Got tapped on the head as he went up and put it in.
Big basket. Chance to cut the lead down to 16. Michigan, really, though, the problems are coming on the opposite end of the floor. They've been able to score in this second half like they weren't able to in the first half. However, defensively, still no answer for the Spartan offense.
Yeah, too many holes in the defense for the Michigan Wolverines. Unable to stay in front, unable to help off the baseline, just letting them get to the rack freely.
Irvin gets the free throw on the and one. 56-40 the score. Those Spartans on top of the Wolverines with 13 minutes and 50 seconds left in this second half. Forbes and Walton battling. Now Valentine calling for a screen and some motion on the baseline. McQuaid off that screen. Gets the basketball in front of the Spartan bench, dribbles to the top of the key, gives to Valentine. Backdoor cut to Goins. Goins lost his footing and he double dribbled. Good call from the opposite side official. And a turnover gives the Wolverines the basketball with a chance to cut again into this 16-point Spartan lead as Matt Costello checks back in for Kenny Goins.
A great help defense right there from Ricky Doyle to slide over and force that double dribble there on Goins.
13.5 minutes left to go in the contest. Michigan State on top, 56-40. The Wolverines working the basketball right to left. Irvin gives to the point guard Walton, guarded by Valentine. Back up top to Doyle, to Robinson off a screen for 3, no good. Rebound brought down by Davis. A 3 that Michigan desperately needed, doesn't go.
Yeah, another in and out. Such a close shot right there. Unfortunate for Robinson. He needs to get it going.
Costello gives to Valentine, who gets by Rockmond. From the free throw line, he pulls up and hits it. Everything falling for the Spartans in this game.
Valentine is dictating this game right now.
Robinson, meanwhile, for Michigan, 0 for 3 from behind the arc. Michigan's best three-point shooter just has not had it today. Irvin, a long two, no good. Costello battling with Forbes, his teammate, for the rebound.
Wolverines side of the ball, Zach Irvin is starting to become a ball stopper as he continues to take too many dribbles and pulls up early in the shot clock.
McQuaid hands off to Forbes, and Walton called for the foul, rubbing off the screen.
Michigan foul number 10, Derek Walton Jr.
40-58 the score, the Spartans leading. Well, I think most would have agreed Michigan State was the better team coming into this game. I don't think many people expected Michigan's offense to lay an egg like they have for the second straight game. However, the Wolverines shooting just 40% from the field, 24% from behind the three-point arc.
And Dawkins looks ready to get in as he checks in at the scores table.
Perhaps checking in for Walton, who now has 3 fouls in this game with 12:10 left to go in the game. Valentine working baseline, no look, throws up a hook shot. Battle for the rebound, finally brought down by Irvin. Costello, the trailer, stripping it away from behind. No one on the maize and blue side was there to alert Irvin, and back the other way, he upends Valentine. Just sloppy play for the Wolverines continuing, and there's a timeout on the floor. 11:58 left to go in the second half. Michigan trailing 40-58 to the visitors from East Lansing.
Yeah, and as you just said, Leo, frustration, sloppy play from both sides right there, but especially for the Michigan Wolverines, who in transition, it's the only time they've really shown signs of life and unable to, Costello trailing right there, just scooping it right out of Zach Irving's hands as he runs to the bench, screaming in frustration. Zach Irving is getting into the huddle right now. Trying to pump some life, screaming right at Ricky Doyle. Seems to be some frustration getting let out here.
Nothing really working for Michigan offensively, and I think the frustration, especially after Tuesday's performance, you thought Michigan would come out perhaps be a bit more inspired, more aggressive. And to start, Michigan State just hit everything. They were 4 of 5 from the field to start the game, and there was really just no answer for Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. You'd expect Beeline to inspire this Wolverines team after getting blown out by Indiana. What seemed to be, they'd put up a couple really good wins coming off against Rutgers and Penn State. Just, again, they're showing what happens when a good team comes to Crisler. Michigan's unable to step up to the plate and really, perform under the national spotlight. Yes, Maryland, the one lone game where they've shown up, but an anomaly coming out of Tremble there, who shot a measly 2 of 10 from the field for the game. Just Michigan unable to show any signs of offense here as Beeline tries to find some sort of combination that's going to work here on the court.
Certainly a disheartening performance for Wolverine fans, as you begin to wonder if Michigan's going to be able to right the ship. They still need to get a few more wins to feel comfortable about their NCAA tournament chances, and I read that schedule earlier. The only games that I think look extremely promising are at Minnesota and then at home against Northwestern. Outside of that, all those games are against quality teams, and then the rivalry game in Columbus against Ohio State. So Michigan's got to find a way to turn things around. This is the only time in the regular season they'll face the Spartans. They could still face them, of course, in the Big Ten tournament as well as the NCAA tournament.
Getting Caris back healthy will inject some life into this Michigan Wolverines offense. And Michigan's they've seen it these last 2 or 3 games. 10 games even. For Caris Levert is the offense. He is the playmaker. He is the... You need a stop on the defensive end. He's there, and Michigan Wolverines just haven't found who to go to. And
I think you're seeing the difference, too, of recruiting McDonald's All-Americans, recruiting 5-star guys to the fringe 3-stars that Michigan's throwing out there. Andrew Dockich now outguarding a 4-star recruit in Matt McQuaid.
And looking at Deontay Davis, too, coming in from this freshman haul that Tom Izzo had. It goes to show the how important recruiting is for college basketball.
Costello inbounds to the aforementioned Davis, and the Wolverines tracking, trying to get to Bryn Forbes. He hits his 8th three of the game. He's within one of the Crisler Center record for three-pointers made in the game, which is 9. 11.5 minutes left to go. Michigan State on top by 21. Rockman gets to the rim. He's fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, and going back to the recruiting, you look at Harris even as a transfer coming over from West Virginia. This just goes to show
As
that
is Forbes, transfer from Cleveland State.
Exactly. And just seeing how important that is to keeping a team competitive and looking at longevity. I mean, this class and the class underneath it with Josh Langford and Miles Bridges, and Cassius Winston too, that Michigan Wolverines are fighting to get.
Spartans certainly not going anywhere. It's just tough when you look at the landscape, and it looks like Michigan for a chance had an opportunity to really shift this rivalry when they won 3 straight, but now the Spartans have responded with winning 3 straight. With today, it'll be 4 straight wins for the Spartans, and it doesn't look like Michigan State is going to give Michigan any opportunities to close the in-state gap, especially on the recruiting trail as time moves on. Davis going back to work on the left block. 61-42 the score. Valentine thought about pulling up for a 3, instead gives to Costello, who draws the the blocking foul on Dockage and gets the lay-in to go.
Yeah, Dockage tried selling that one really good. He was sliding his feet still as he got leveled there by Costello.
That's his first team 7th back in the game now.
Never had that left foot down and set, and Costello will go up to shoot the free throw and try to complete the and one.
Crisler Center starting to exit here, going out of the tunnels. First few are starting to be seen, but surprising that this Michigan fans are still here sitting around watching this game.
64-42 the score. Michigan State continuing to pile it on with still over 11 minutes left to go, and you just wonder how ugly this one might get. Doyle hands off to Walton. Walton driving inside, blocking foul against Denzel Valentine. 5th foul against the Spartans.
Michigan State foul at number 45 at Denzel Valentine. That's his 2nd team 5th.
2nd foul against Valentine. Inbound to Doyle. Back up top to Walton Jr. and the Wolverine offense resets. Walton's step inside the 3-point arc. Shot too strong off the back of the iron. Rebound brought down by the Spartans. McQuaid in front of the Spartan bench for 3. He buries it. Absolutely everything falling for Michigan State in this game. They're shooting 65% from the eye in the arc, 68% from the field, and Michigan's defensively had no answer. A steal now. Costello, one-handed stuff, and things getting really ugly now as John Beeline takes a timeout, and the Spartans are pouring it on here in Ann Arbor. 69-42 the score with still 10.5 minutes left to go. And I get the sense from the Michigan State bench that they want to keep their foot on the gas.
And Costello put the exclamation point on that game as he met Valentine on the middle of the M in Crisler Center with the fist pump to Valentine. Yeah, Michigan State not letting up on the pedal here.
And you'd like to think that the absence of Caris Levert could account for this, but Caris Levert can only guard one of the 5 guys that Michigan State has out there, and even with him on the floor, you get the sense this wouldn't have been that significantly different. Perhaps offensively, a few easier baskets for Michigan, but defensively, Michigan just no answer, and you wonder how Beeline's going to account for it, because for the 2nd straight game, baskets have come with ease for the opposition.
Yeah, we've been talking about Caris Levert and how he's seen as his savior, but you're right. You can only cover one player on the court, and you look at Costello, who's beating us on the inside. You look at Deontay Davis, who's been relatively quiet, but has been good on the boards. And McQuaid, freshman out of Michigan, coming in just hitting that wide open corner 3. Caris Levert cannot be everywhere on the court, and it just goes to show the many problems that Michigan Wolverines have as they finish out this Big Ten slate.
Aaron Harris, to give you a sense of how things have gone, is the only Michigan State player who has attempted a field goal in this game, shooting below 50%. He's 1 for 3. everyone else on the floor, and anyone who's seen action for the green and white in this game, is shooting over 50% from the field. As for Michigan, their best shooter right now on this game to attempt more than one field goal is Zach Irvin at 5 of 12. No real offensive standouts for the Mason Blue in this game. Zach Irvin with 13 points, Derek Walton Jr. with 11 points, and just 5 total assists for the Wolverines. Michigan State as a team, 15 assists. They're doing it absolutely
by the books.
By the books on the offensive end. Just textbook performance for Michigan State, and Michigan has just had absolutely no answer. It hasn't been any one particular player that has dominated for Michigan State. It's been a collective effort. Bryn Forbes stands out with the 26 points, but you've got Costello with 12, Valentine with 16. And things just have not gone right for the Maize and Blue. And
yeah, and Valentine flirting with another triple-double here.
don't expect things to get any easier with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left in this second half. You're listening to the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network. Irvin, a 15-footer, is good from the right free throw line, extended. Makes it 69-44 in favor of Michigan State. McQuaid, down low to Goins on the right block. Up top to Valentine off a screen, who's well guarded by Irvin. Valentine, double team, behind the back pass to McQuaid. And the Spartans reset 8 seconds as McQuaid drives in, and Doyle takes the charge. 6-team foul against the Spartans, so both sides will be in the bonus the rest of the way.
Yeah, and McQuaid right there just blowing by the Michigan defense. Of all people to all players on the floor, you'd expect McQuaid to be the least likely, as he's essentially a spot-up shooter to drive by the Michigan Wolverines, and that just goes to show how bad this defense has been today.
Michigan State leads still by 25. Irvin off a screen from Doyle. Just inside the three-point arc, he hits his second straight basket. Perhaps too little, too late. Irvin's starting to feel it.
Yeah, picked the same spot right there on the floor to go to, found the same open look.
The lead down to 23 with still 9.5 minutes left to play. McQuaid, well guarded by Dawkins, defers to Goins. As Irvin does a great job denying Valentine the basketball. Irvin continuing to work as Costello gets inside the paint. Scoop shot up and in. Doyle absolutely taken to school once again.
Doyle's got to use the frame. He's got to use his hands. His hands were low, not up. Poor defense right there as Costello just scooped right under him.
Irvin using his left forearm to create some separation from Harris. Kicks to Walton for three. Rattles around, no good. Costello fighting for the rebound. Valentine hits the deck to bring it in, and it's thrown off the foot of Doyle, out of bounds. Ball to Michigan State.
Into the game now for your Wolverines, number 13, Mo Wagner.
And it looks like we'll see Mo Wagner in for the first time tonight. Surprised Beeline's not cleared the benches here to get some better experience as Derek Walton and Zach Irvin continue to stay on the floor.
And number 5, Forbes.
You did wonder, and I know there were people questioning that last game, why we didn't see Michigan throw in the bench and try to inspire these guys. Problem is Michigan doesn't have that deep a bench. They've, with the exception of Sean Lonergan, every single player active in this game has seen the floor. Cameron Chapman as well, we have not seen in this game, but that's two guys who Michigan has not played. Everyone else is part of this rotation now. Valentine going to work, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Kicks it down low. Davis off the backboard, no good. Mo Wagner brings down the rebound. Walton pushing the pace. Kicks to Dawkins for three, hits it. Aubrey Dawkins, a three-point basket. The lead down to 22.
Yeah, it seems to show signs of life, and then you check the scoreboard, it's still at 22, and Michigan Wolverines finding it at the wrong time.
Aaron Harris. Now Bryn Forbes. Kicks to Valentine off a baseline screen. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Valentine steps inside, kicks to Forbes in the corner, tries to blow by Dawkins. The runner is good. Bryn Forbes absolutely hitting everything.
Bryn Forbes there just having a night.
28 points now for the junior from Lansing, Michigan. Irvin gets by Forbes on this one, and his layup no good. Uncontested, right-handed off the backboard, and he can't get the layup to go. Back come the green and white. Forbes has his pass rejected, but Valentine able to scoop it up. His left foot did hit the half-court stripe, and the referee was on it, so backcourt violation gives the ball back to the Maize and Blue. Timeout on the floor, 7:02 left to go in the second half. Michigan State still on top, 73-49.
Yeah, the official right there needed a little bit of help from the Crisler Center to finally blow that whistle, and Denzel Valentine questioning the head official there as he goes over and talks to him.
For the best pizza in town. For more information, go to pizzahouse.com.
This point, Michigan State clearly the better side, and you just wonder if that slow start they had to conference play is what's going to end up costing them an opportunity to win that regular season crown. But of course, they'll still have March, they'll still have the Big Ten tournament, and then far more importantly, the NCAA tournament. But if the Spartans can play like this, there's no reason to not expect them to make a run to the Final Four.
Yeah, much of the sports world started to doubt MSU after they dropped those three losses to Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin and Nebraska being two of them. But then they came back and turned around against Maryland, put on a very good game there, and ever since then they've been riding a 3-game win streak, looking to get to 4 here in the Crisler Center.
This will be their 4th straight win in Big Ten play after starting Big Ten play with a loss at Iowa. They won 3 straight, then losing 3 straight, as you mentioned, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. Now they've rattled off 4 straight wins, including wins over Maryland, Northwestern, Rutgers, and today Michigan. They'll close out. These next few games don't get much easier. They travel to West Lafayette to take on the Boilermakers next before hosting Indiana and Wisconsin, followed by a trip to Columbus. A home matchup with Penn State. They go to Rutgers and then finish off the regular season at home against Ohio State. Absolutely everything going right for the Spartans as they're looking to hand Michigan an emphatic loss yet again for the 2nd straight.
Once again, under the national spotlight, Michigan caves, unable to show up and show the national sports world what type of offense and what type of team that they've become. Looking at the lesser games, they come out and show, Duncan Robinson hits well over 6 trays against Northern Kentucky. He just caving is what, in frustration, coming at time and time after seeing the Michigan Wolverines play in the national spotlight.
And embarrassing is not even the word for the performance, because I think embarrassing is something you use if it's a matchup of 2 competitive teams. This is just simply Michigan not nearly as good as Michigan State. Just outclassed top to bottom. They were outcoached and continue to be outplayed. 6.5 minutes left to go in this game. Irvin gets the lay-in to go. 22-point game still with Michigan State on top, 73-51, 6:40 officially left to go in the game. Back the other way come the green and white. Aaron Harris, down low to Valentine on the right block. Backs up Irvin. Tries to split the double team. Takes a hip check from Walton, and he will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
And Derek Walton getting way a little over-aggressive there on the double team.
Valentine, an 83% free throw shooter coming into the game. This will be his first free throw attempt. Just the 6th free throw attempt from the stripe. Gets the front end of the 1-and-1 to rattle home. The lead up to 23.
Denzel Valentine needing 2 rebounds and 2 more assists to record another triple-double here on the season.
Gets the 2nd free throw to go, and the lead is up to 24. Wolverines pushing pace the other way. Irvin to Wagner, top of the key 3-pointer. Mo Wagner, high arcing shot off the right edge of the rim, and no good. Valentine to Harris in front of the Spartan bench. 15 on the shot clock. He's well guarded by Dawkins. Gives to Valentine. Now Harris. Blow by dribble, hands off to Goins, driving left baseline. He fouls it and stuffs it home. Fouled going up by Wilson, and he gets the one-handed stuff to go through the contact.
Yeah, Michigan Wolverines continuing to show their poorest defense here as Aaron Harris just blew by again and left DJ Wilson come over to help dish it off for the easy dunk by Goins. Yeah, he got fouled, but he put that in. Good look.
Free throw, no good, but a lane violation against Aubrey Dawkins, so he will get to go again.
Second shot has been awarded to number 25.
Goins, a 43% free throw shooter on the year. Gets the second one to go, and that sums up this game pretty well. 27-point lead now for Michigan State. Irvin, no-look pass over his head to Wagner, who has it poked away from behind. He's fouled, and he will go to the line for the one-and-one.
Yeah, the bigs for Michigan continue to look lost on the offensive side. And Tom Izzo knows that as he continues to leave them open off of pick and rolls, continues to leave them with shots to take because they just haven't shown any reason for Tom Izzo to change.
Wagner steps to the line for the one-and-one. His first shot off the brick of the iron, no good. Valentine crosses the time stripe. So the Spartans with a three would make this a 30-point game. Forbes off a screen, drives inside, and he's fouled going up, so he will go to the line to shoot two. As the crowd continues to funnel out, and not a lot to build off, I would say, for John Beilein and this staff. I think the only thing as a Michigan fan you could take away from this is Michigan's not very good. I think that's pretty clear now. Based on what they've done against good competition, the results speak for themselves. What differentiates this year from last year is Michigan did well against bad teams, but outside of that.
Yeah, Michigan just hasn't had that many bad losses as they did last year, but this year just goes to show they just aren't that good, and it goes to show how they've been unable to close the gap against MSU and continue to not show up on the national spotlight.
That's his third teammate. Into the game now for Michigan State.
Forbes will get to face Michigan at least once more next year. Not sure how that schedule works out, but he's not going anywhere. Valentine will graduate.
A hefty recruiting class coming in.
Check that, Valentine, also a junior, so he will be back one more year. No, senior.
Valentine looks to could definitely be a lottery pick in the NBA draft, so slim chances that he does come back and play with Wolverine.
Got to correct myself. Forbes and Valentine, both seniors, so fortunately this will be the last time Michigan has to face them. 5:26 left to go in the second half. Michigan State on top, 79-52. Dawkins misses the second free throw. And the Spartans still lead it, 79-52, with 5:20 left to go in this game. I think if the rules allowed Michigan to let the clock run the rest of this game out, they would take it. Unfortunately, they won't have that opportunity, and Michigan State can just continue to go to work. An off-ball offensive foul against the Spartans gives possession back to the Maize and Blue.
Yeah, and going back to last year, the Michigan Wolverines were injured, and you would hope that the growth that they had from getting from freshmen getting playing time would, be residual and coming over this year. It just hasn't, as none of the sophomores have stepped up into the spotlight role like we saw Zach Irving last year.
Wagner's finger roll, too strong off the glass, comes back trying to get the steal away, falls to Dawkins, fast break. He's hip checked, smart foul, preventing him from getting the easy basket to go.
Michigan State foul on number 41, Colby Wallenman.
Colby Wallenman checks in Fifth-year senior from Bighorn, Wyoming, with the smart foul there. Did not expect to call his name in this game, but that's the way things have gone for the Wolverines. Dawkins from the free throw line gets the front one to go. Both teams in the double bonus for the remaining 4:46. Wilson checking in for Mo Wagner. Both free throws good. And the lead down to 25. With the exception of Willenman, Michigan State keeping in their usual rotation players. Marvin Clark Jr. joining Aaron Harris and Bryn Forbes, who's open for three. He hit it, but a whistle coming before for a moving screen. Otherwise, Bryn Forbes would have just tied the Crisler Center record for made three-pointers in a single game.
Yeah, and that Aubrey Dawkins and Zach Irvin ran into each other to get Bryn Forbes open and didn't have to do with the screen right there.
Chapman working to Dawkins now. Walton Jr. up top to Dawkins. Down low to Wilson. Good cut. Two Spartans jumping over him, and he gets the lane to go. Nice post move there to cut the deficit to 23. Seemingly just a game much like Tuesday against Indiana, where the first half just got so away from them that any efforts in the second half really didn't seem to matter. But Michigan has looked better offensively in the second half. Willenman kicks to Forbes, drives baseline, finger roll, runner no good. Marvin Clark putback dunk attempt, also no good. Walton splits the defense, kicking to the corner to Chapman, who wasn't ready for the pass. Goes out of bounds. Timeout on the floor, 3:33 left to go in this game. 79-56. Just 3 minutes and 33 seconds from putting us out of our misery.
Yeah, and the lone highlight reel you could take away from this game are two Michigan State Spartans colliding into each other in midair as they attempted to cut off DJ Wilson's hair because he did not leave the floor, and then came up for the slam after that.
So Michigan State will not only win in football, they will win in basketball. They won yesterday in hockey against the Wolverines, and they will finish off their regular season meetings in hockey tonight at Munn Ice Arena in East Lansing. A game hopefully Michigan can come away with a victory. Otherwise, the Spartan dominance in the sports that really matter will continue.
Yeah, and Michigan will have no option to redeem themselves, as the realignment of the conferences and not protecting rivalries will leave Michigan the only opportunity here to put up the win, but unable to do that.
Big Ten tournament a possibility as well, but quite frankly, I don't think Michigan wants to face Michigan State again this year.
Yeah, looking for Caris to come back. Michigan Wolverines face a very tough slate coming up. I mean, looking ahead, where does Beeline go? Where does he find the problems? Because tonight it has been obvious that Caris Levert will not solve the issues here for the Michigan Wolverines, as the Spartans have just exploited every possible weakness the Michigan Wolverines have had tonight.
Also, you have to wonder after these types of performances, how eager is Levert to even come back? Obviously, he doesn't want to jeopardize his draft stock by returning too early and re-injuring himself.
Yeah,
and it's not like he's coming back to a team that's in a position to contend for any sort of championship unless they head to the NIT.
Yeah, exactly. For Caris Levert, it seemed to be this was the game to return to play, and if not, to hold out and get himself ready, because he does have a future look ahead. He did forego the possibility of playing the NBA last year to come back for his senior season. Yes, he's given up the opportunity to play 10 games because he's been out with the lower left leg injury, but at the same time, he's got to protect his draft stock. And by not, and with the cryptic messages that Beeline has sent out, there has to be some sort of concern that it does have to do with his same foot that he hurt last year.
On the floor for Michigan, it will be Rockman, Wilson, Dawkins, Dockich, and Chapman. For Michigan State, Alvin Ellis getting his first minutes of the game. Marvin Clark Jr., Matt McQuaid, Colby Willenman, and Denzel Valentine. So they will let Valentine finish out this game, and rightfully so. In what will likely be his final meeting of the Maize and Blue, he really put the exclamation point on it. He has an opportunity to do so again, and he does with another three-point basket. He's got 21 in the game, and he's now 3 of 4 from behind the arc. Chapman back the other way against Willenman. His layup no good. And an off-ball foul against Wilson, who went up for the rebound. Will send him to the line to shoot 2.
What I want to know is,
And actually, it looks like Wilson, who ended up on the floor, somehow
seemed
was
to be the one who
called
got
for the foul.
called. Yeah, got called for the foul as they walk to the other side of the court. As Marvin Clark will go to the line here. And the one thing that I want to know is, why has Sean Lonergan not seen the floor here? Jeremy Parks, one of the future executive directors here, why is one of his favorite player, why has he not seen court time here? He throws down beautiful dunks in warm-up. He goes through everything that all the other Michigan Wolverines players do before the game, and he hasn't seen the court here. It's preposterous.
As Valentine heads to the sideline, gets a hug from the entire bench area as the Spartans can start to celebrate now with 3 minutes left to go. Baseline pass to Dawkins. And he's fouled, so he will go to the line to shoot 2. 84-56. The score in favor of Michigan State with 3 minutes left to go as the crowd continues to funnel out of Crisler Center.
Maze Rage essentially empty, going up to the top of the Crisler Center. Not a good outing here for the Michigan Wolverines, as they, as I've said over this broadcast, have failed to show up in the national spotlight.
Marvin Clark brings down the rebound off the missed free throw. McQuaid pushing pace. Trying to break down Dawkins on the dribble. Gives to Ellis for 3. He hits it. Not a single player on Michigan State missing right now. It's a 30-point game. Chapman to Dockich. Inside, gives to Rockman, who's lane to the rim, cut off. Chapman, though, gets the lay-in to go with the left hand off the glass and in. Michigan staying with the full court press, forcing a timeout. And it's a 28-point game, John Beeline. Please just let us go home.
Yeah, delaying the inevitable, as I was about to say.
And it's a simple substitution timeout for Michigan State, thankfully.
Checking in now for Michigan State, our number 0, Kyle Arns.
As the Spartans now will truly clear their bench. Kyle Arns checking in. As is Matt Van Dyke. Ellis trapped in front of the Michigan bench as the Wolverines continue to press. Ellis crosses the time stripe with a pass to Bass. Into the corner. Arns, no good. Gets a tip back, working it down low to Van Dyke, who's trapped in the painted area. Jump ball upcoming, possession to Michigan.
Jump ball to Michigan.
Dockich pushing the pace the other way. Hands off to Aubrey Dawkins. Off a screen, top of the key, three-pointer is up and in. The Wolverines continuing to press. Willenman up ahead to Javon Bass. Bass trapped by the sideline, up top to Ellis. Now Willenman, baseline pass. Good ball movement by the Spartan walk-ons, but the shot up by Van Dyke, no good. Rockman pushing pace the other way. Gives to Dockich, splitting the defense, getting to the rim. Left-handed layup, up and in with the foul. So, something to let the fans cheer about as Andrew Dockich gets the and one opportunity with a high-arcing left-handed shot through the contact.
Yeah, the Dockich household is celebrating right now.
The line out is shoot 1.
Not quite sure about that.
After that amazing and one,
He gets the and one with the free throw. The lead down to 32. Correction, 22.
That's his second.
22-point lead. As Michigan's gone on an 8-0 run over the last 54 seconds.
At the line out of shoot two for Michigan State is number 0, Kyle Arns.
Kyle Arns heading to the line now to shoot 2. Swishes in the first basket. A guy who I don't think expected to see the court in this game will not only see the floor, he'll get buckets.
you get points while he's doing it.
Too strong on the second free throw attempt. Wilson skies for the rebound. Minute and a half left to play. Michigan State on top, 88-65. Dawkins for 3. Too strong. Rebound tipped around. Secured by Dockich. Good hustle play. No look pass. Chapman to Wilson and one. Crowd into it now.
A little bit of false hope here.
Perhaps losing sight of the scoreboard. 21-point game. So if Michigan just could have faced the walk-ons of Michigan State, perhaps a more competitive game. Fortunately, that's not the case. Wilson's free throw makes 3. Wolverines will continue to press. Elvis ahead to Best. Alice, I should say, ahead to Best. Skip pass. No look from Arns. Misses Willenman and goes out of bounds on the baseline.
And with this little scoring run that Michigan is going on,
Make the score a little bit more respectable.
yeah, for the folks that tune in the final minute,
Dockich splitting the defense. No look to Dawkins, who's fouled going up, trying to get the poster dunk. Lead down to 20. Michigan on an 11-1 run as the Spartans have turned it over 4 times in the last minute and 41 seconds. Dawkins will head to the line to shoot 2.
and without this run here, Michigan avoids Rutgers level basketball by not giving up a 30-point, by not losing by more than 30 points here.
First free throw is good. Michigan, this will be their 4th conference loss. They will be tied with Michigan State at 7-4 in conference play. Second free throw is up and good, so the Wolverines will get to 70 points in this game. Problem is Michigan State is closing it on 90. Ellis ahead to Best. Pushing the pace, Arns getting to the rim, laying it in too strong. Rebound fought for by Willenman. Gives to Best, and the Spartans can reset. Willenman. Double team down low, gets it poked away by Dockich. Wilson pushing ahead. Dockich now. Forced to slow things down. Defers to Dawkins, contested 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. And now, Spartans pushing it ahead. Best. Slowing things down for the green and white. Dawkins still playing pressure defense. Cross to Alvin Ellis. Now Arns. Back to Ellis. Shot clock still a factor, so the Spartans will need to get one last basket, or at least a shot attempt. Best will take it. Fight for the rebound is won by Willenman. And a hard foul taken by Wilson there on Van Dyke. Frustration a factor with 7.1 seconds left to play. Michigan State can make it 90 if Van Dyke can hit both these free throws. They lead it 88-7.
And with that foul, the game will be prolonged for a little over longer than 7 seconds here.
Front end is good. No good on the second free throw, so the Spartans will not crack 90. Chapman pulls up for a 3, and he hits it. Gives the crowd something to cheer about. The final margin of victory for Michigan State will be just 16, but it could have been a lot uglier if the Spartans didn't take their foot off the gas pedal. The final from Crisler Center, Michigan State 89, Michigan 73. Rodnax, I'll spare your final thoughts unless you have something you want to add.
There's not much to say other than Michigan has not closed the in-state gap, and it continues to show they're not getting any closer, either on the recruiting trail or now with the current talent level that they have.
For one last time, the final score from Ann Arbor, Michigan State 89, Michigan 73. On behalf of the entire WCBN Sports crew, we wish you a good night and go blue.